Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening to the replay of this live, make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. What up? What up? What up? What's going on out there, everybody? How is everybody doing? Want to welcome everybody to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Now, I, I'm trying to get my schedule together, and I said every Sunday for sure I will be going live. I wanted to do it earlier, but I haven't got a set schedule yet, but it's Sunday and I'm live. So shout out to everybody in the building. Skills from New Orleans. What's going on? Ariana, what's going on? Call me live. How is everybody doing? How was everybody's weekend? How is everything going for everybody? Got a couple of topics from the week that I'm going to run through and cover. But the biggest topic that seems to have been talked about is Saudi Arabia and boxing. And of course, you got Alicia Baumgartner going on. You got Oscar and Ryan with the drama going on. You got Bill and Devin pushing P, publicity and propaganda. And then you got Tank Davis. What's next for him? Who gonna be in the ring? How he's being offered 20, 40 million to fight Devin. Is he ducking? It's a lot of drama going on in boxing right now. On some Days of Our Lives type stuff. But I mean, I'm here for it. It's cool. It's cool. So what's up with y'all? How everybody doing today? I'm gonna be up here for about an hour today. Nothing too long, nothing too strenuous. But let's get into it. Did y'all see the fight this weekend with Mayer and Natasha? A lot of people saying it was a robbery. Matter of fact, everybody's saying it was a robbery. Everybody's saying it was a robbery. So a couple of people are pretty upset about it. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens in boxing. Smooth Criminal, what up? What's going on? It happens in boxing. But man, Mayer just keep getting the short end of the stick. But she looked really good at that weight. I thought maybe that weight would be, a little too big for her. But she looked comfortable at the weight. She did a good job. She landed some nice clean punches on Natasha. Natasha was grabbing, holding on for dear life. She took a bunch of big shots. The first half of the fight might have been a toss-up, but towards the end of the fight, Mayer just started pulling it out. But that's boxing, right? That's what they tell you. It's boxing. You went over to another country to fight. You already know what go down with that and what can happen. So hopefully they do a rematch because I feel like that fight does deserve a rematch. And Mayer can pull it off and be able to snatch that belt at 147. And maybe her and Baumgartner will do a rematch. You never know. Now, speaking of Baumgartner, she's been in the news lately for testing positive for mestranolone, a performance enhancement drug. But she's been absolved of that, right? According to the WBC, they found that Baumgartner was not guilty of intentional ingestion or consumption of a banned substance for performance enhancement purposes, and she's cleared. So what I get from that is not that it wasn't in her system, she didn't intentionally ingest it. So I'm not sure what that means, but the doping in boxing, the cheating, the PEDs has been a very big topic lately in boxing. There's been a lot of people discussing and talking about it, and it's being brought to the forefront. The way these tests are done, the way the public perceive things are done with the testing, and the way things are actually done with the testing is two completely different things, is what we're starting to realize. Victor's been out there pretty much putting it on blast, putting it out there. How the random is not exactly random. It's random-ish, right? You know you're going to be tested. You just don't know exactly the time and the hour type of thing. And McQueen in the building, what's going on? He says there was another test that she took that was negative prior to the positive test. And that's another thing too, is that they really messed up on her test. And apparently they was holding samples in their house for 9 days and they just didn't do the procedure properly. So even if she were, to have done this intentionally, it's just too many questions about the way everything was handled and the way things were done for her to be officially accused with anything, right? And I seen an interview with Micaiah Mayer, and she expressed that there was no drug testing done for their fight. There was no drug testing done for their fight. So I'm just curious what's next for Baumgardner. She's been cleared. I'm not sure if she's going to continue to have that stain on her name. And it was a lot of people that was just saying, oh, she's pretty, forget it. So apparently pretty privilege carries over to boxing and cheating. So if you're pretty, you can get away with it, right? Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. And McQueen say, so it seems it's thought there was a discrepancy there. Yeah, it was a discrepancy in the testing. So, you don't want to accuse somebody of cheating. You want to do it beyond a reasonable doubt. So they gotta handle this testing stuff properly, because you putting salt on people's name if they didn't do it, or you letting people get away with it if they did do it. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta buckle down on that, pay more attention to that, because this is a combat sport. These people are putting their lives on the line when they getting in the ring, and y'all playing around with the testing. Skills from New Orleans say, if I had one wish pertaining to boxing, Bud versus Boots, if Bud isn't going to rematch EJ. Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. I don't even know if I put that on the list. So now they hit her with this probationary period. So she's going to be on probation for a year, backdated. So I believe it's already been 6 months. So I think she has another 6 months to go. But my thing is, why am I on probation for something that I did not even do? I didn't do it. Y'all just said that I didn't do it. But I guess since it was found in her system, she has to be responsible for it. But why am I responsible for it if the sample was mishandled? And if you notice, a lot of Eddie Hearn fighters popping dirty. There's a lot of those matchroom fighters that's popping dirty. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's been issues before with the company that Eddie Hearn uses for the testing. They've been accused of mishandling the samples. So they need to get that together over there at Matchroom. They really, really do. They really, really do. Because you just would hate to have that on your name, because it's gonna stay with you. It's gonna stay with you. Canelo's the quote unquote face of boxing, but you're not gonna mention Canelo without mentioning the clenbuterol. You're not gonna mention Canelo without mentioning clenbuterol. A lot of people say Canelo good, but he can't be on my pit pound for pound list because he didn't got popped for drugs before. So that's just not a stain you want on your name as far as boxing goes. Rod Walk in the building. What's going on? PGH Big Dog, what's up? What's up? PGH Big Dog say Bud out here actively trying to duck Boots. Damn shame. I want to get on the Bud thing, but once you get on Bud, it's hard to get off. So we gonna say that for towards the end. PGH Big Dog say Eddie Germ is dirty all the way around. Dirty fighters, dirty business. Yeah, Eddie. Even with the Conor Ben thing, he smoothed his way around that so that Conor Ben could still fight. And Conor Ben actually tested dirty. I mean, of course, they tried to say he ate too many eggs. I'm not sure how many eggs you need to eat to test dirty for something, but I call Conor Ben the incredible edible egg, because that was his excuse, just like Canelo with the contaminated meat in Mexico, when he doesn't even live in Mexico, nor was he eating meat from Mexico. But apparently he was getting the meat shipped in from Mexico, but y'all could take that however you want. Eddie Hearn pushing the juice, but he don't have snack to keep him ahead of the testing. And if you notice, Eddie Hearn and Victor Conte be going back and forth a lot. Victor Conte really has an issue with Eddie Hearn. So that's a whole nother live, right? That's a whole nother live. So another thing that has been going down this week in boxing is the Ryan Garcia versus Oscar De La Hoya, right? Because they seem to be fighting each other more than they fighting in the ring. So a little backstory on that. Ryan Garcia put a poll up a while ago on whether the people want to see him fight Devin Haney or see him fight Rolly. It was a pretty close poll, but a lot of more people said they wanted to see him fight Devin Haney. So he went into the talks and negotiations with Devin Haney, and then all of a sudden, he came on live and he said, "Hey, we're gonna fight Devin Haney. The only way this fight won't happen is if they're not negotiating fairly. This is what Ryan Garcia says, if they're not negotiating fairly. So then you see him chilling with Mayweather. He in the mall shopping with Mayweather, looking like he happy to be hanging out with the cool kids. Him and Mayweather running around the block. And then all of a sudden, the Devin Haney fight is no more, and he's supposed to be fighting Rolly next. After he came out and said, "Nah, Rolly, we tried to make the fight with you. You was on vacation. You wasn't serious about fighting." Boom, he meet with Mayweather. Now he dropped the fight with Devin Haney, and he's fighting Rolly. When they asked Ryan Garcia about it, he said Devin Haney was trying to be the A side, and he only did 35,000 pay-per-view buys with Regis Prograis. So why he think he gonna be the A side? Now it's a lot of debate about if Ryan Garcia should be the A side. A lot of people say, well, Devin Haney has headlined his own pay-per-views. He's done pay-per-views. Ryan Garcia has only done one pay-per-view. Now, just to give my 2 cents, Ryan Garcia, his fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, he did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. And we can sit here and act like that was Tank Davis, but they did that together. So my 2 cents, if you can fight, I don't care who it is, and y'all can do 1 million pay-per-view buys, one of the top pay-per-view buys that's been done in a while, I would assume that if it's going to be a pay-per-view, you would be the A side, considering Devin Haney just headlined his own pay-per-view and it only did, let's say, 35 to 50,000 pay-per-view buys. A lot of people saying, no, it did more. That's not true. Well, I mean, it's all we have to go off of. Bill hasn't came out and said, no, it didn't do 50, it did 150, or it did 200. He hasn't definitively came out and said that those numbers were correct or incorrect, right? So he basically said Haney priced himself out the fight. Now, it's a lot of people mad at Ryan, saying he a duck. He always ducking Haney. And I can see where they're coming from with their perspective, because allegedly Ryan Garcia has ducked Devin Haney before in the past. But if I'm initiating the fight and then I see some numbers and some business and it doesn't work out, to me, if I pull out and go for a better opportunity, I don't consider that a duck. Because why would I even initiate you in the first place? I mean, granted, he could have did it for attention, publicity, whatever the case may be. But just like people say to me, hey, it's boxing, right? So then Rod Walker say Conor Ben is a dirty cheater. So then all of a sudden he says he's going to negotiate and he wants to fight Rolly. Now, the way I felt about that is, for Ryan to fight Rolly, it simply made a little bit more sense to me, because Rolly's the quote unquote weakest champion. And I do believe that Ryan Garcia can beat Rolly. Either way, it'll be a good fight and it'll be an entertaining fight. So let's say Ryan beats Rolly. Now Ryan's a champion. He has a belt. When he go back to the table with Devin Haney, it'll be for a belt. It'll be a championship fight, and it'll be for a belt. It'll be a bigger fight. That just makes more sense to me. And I don't know. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But it was a lot of people upset about it. And I don't understand the uproar when Ryan was fighting Tank. It wasn't a serious fight. It was an exhibition and this and this and that. But now all of a sudden it's a good enough fight for Devin Haney. And when he decides to change his mind, people are upset about it. But how are you upset about me not fighting you to go fight for a belt? I'm not ducking you if I'm going to fight a championship fight. That just makes sense to me. How am I ducking you if I'm going to fight for a championship fight? Rod Walker say Oscar a pimp. So then you got Oscar coming out saying, oh, well, Jose Ramirez is next for Ryan Garcia. And Ryan came out and said, no, he not. I'm not fighting him. And Oscar is saying, well, Rolly priced himself out. Rolly priced himself out the fight. And then Rolly like, man, y'all wasting my time. Y'all playing around with me. I ain't priced myself out of nothing. So I'm not sure what's going on exactly with Oscar and Ryan in that sense, because it seems like that's the biggest issue Ryan wants to do one thing, and Oscar wants Ryan to do something completely different. So them two are not too short of the drama. They always got something going on. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on or how they're going to do that. And Ryan basically saying, I ain't fighting. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect his career. I'm not sure what Ryan has left on his contract to where he don't have to fool with Oscar no more. I'm not sure why Oscar doesn't want him to fight Rolly. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure exactly why you wouldn't want him to go fight so y'all can snatch that belt and have that belt in y'all pocket and be able to use it to leverage more money with the fights. Rod Walker say Haney pricing himself out of fights, but Devonomics says that it's valid when it's Devin. I mean, I don't know what that means, pricing yourself out the fight. I wish they was a little bit more public with numbers and exactly what they talking about so we can know what's going on. But it just makes more sense for Devin to fight him with the belt so he could take his belt. If Devin's going to wash Ryan, go and let him get the belt from Rolly and then just take it. And now you up 2 belts in the 140 division. You got 2 more to go. You'll be 2-time undisputed. Isn't that the goal? But just like Bill said, they're no longer fighting for legacy. They looking for the bag, right? Rod Walker say that's an outlier until he has one by himself to bring the average closer to the mean. Well, I guess that's true. Rod Walker is an outlier. But I think if Devin and Rolly was to do a pay-per-view, I'm sure it would do over 100,000 pay-per-view buys. I'm sure it would do over 50,000 pay-per-view buys. But even if it's an outlier, when you come to the table, this is what you got to negotiate with. You got these numbers right here to negotiate with. Just because it's an outlier don't mean you can't use it. I guarantee you, if Tank and Devin would have did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, they would be using it to negotiate with when they came to the table. They wouldn't be like, oh, we can't use that. That's an outlier. No. The fact that Ryan could even produce those type of numbers says a lot about him and his fan base and what he brings to the table. Original Americans say Ryan Garcia is official duck sauce. I mean, I guess so. I guess if some people say it's a duck, some people say, how can I duck you if I'm going to fight for a championship belt? Only to make our fight better, though. Like, so I'm ducking you to go get a belt to make our fight better? My 2 cents, I don't think so. Ariana says Devin Haney is about to go on ESPN soon because he's not a pay-per-view attraction. We're gonna see. We're gonna see because apparently what's next for Devin Haney is Adrian the Problem Broner, right? When I to me, I love AB. I'm an AB fan. I love to see AB fight. I would love to see him fight a Rolly or I would like to see him fight Ryan, right? And just for entertainment though. Nobody is expecting AB to get in the ring, be a champion at 140, do none of that. Like AB is not a top contender right now. He damn near got 1 foot out the door. Adrian Broner probably 200 pounds right now. Can he even make 140 is the question. So I don't think that's a good fight for Devin Haney, just to give my 2 cents. I think Devin Haney needs to go fight the contenders that are in the 140 division, not dig up Adrian Broner to fight. I mean, who like let me know in the chat who really here expects for Adrian Broner to beat Devin Haney. And what does that do for Devin Haney's legacy to have Adrian Broner on his resume? Adrian Broner is damn near exhibition fights. That's a fight for entertainment. That's a fight you want to see the laugh at the build up. You want to see what Adrian gonna look like if he gonna let his hands go. Like that's not really a competitive fight. Just to give my 2 cents, I don't. That's the last person I was expecting for Devin Haney to go after, Adrian Broner. And who knows if they're even serious. But I've seen videos of AB in the gym. He put up, he told Bill send the contract. But I don't know why they want to fight Adrian Broner. But it goes to my theory that Devin Haney wants to fight older fighters. You got T.O. out there. You got Russell out there. You got Ryan out there. Of course, they got their little beef. You got Rolly out there. You got Matias out there. You got a ton of other people that you could be fighting besides Adrian Broner. Who's checking for Adrian Broner? I haven't heard not one other person mention Adrian Broner name. Now I could see if Adrian Broner was checking for them and calling them out, and they like, you know what, AB, let's get in the ring. Let me whoop your ass real quick. But that's not what's happening. They're calling out Adrian Broner. I don't see that fight happening or being made. Rod Walker said they sold 35K and they bought 30K and sent it to his cutlass. D35 in the building. What's going on? Original say I'm still waiting on Ryan Garcia to fight Manny Pacquiao. Now, this is my thing with Ryan Garcia. Is Ryan Garcia BSing? We already know Ryan Garcia be capping or whatever and this and that. But or is Oscar De La Hoya giving him a hard time about these fights that he want to make? That's what we need to understand is like they really have a real live beef. Like from my understanding, they can't even talk to each other directly. They got to talk to each other through the lawyers because they beefing so hard. Now, whose fault it is, I don't know. Some people say Ryan Garcia a diva. He don't listen to nobody, which I agree. Ryan Garcia probably don't listen to nobody. He probably hard-headed. He probably don't want to hear nothing Oscar got to say. But is it a trust issue that they have going on? Because the way that listen, I don't care what we got going on behind the scenes. For you to stand me up after I lose the fight against Gervonta, I don't care if I took the contract that you didn't want me to take and I agreed to the terms that you didn't want me to agree to. There's no way my whole team should stand me up after a fight. And who was there for Ryan after that fight? It was Mayweather. So, I mean, Oscar kind of brought that on himself, in my opinion, with that little antic, that little thing that he pulled talking about that he was getting death threats. Why were you getting death threats, Oscar? Who was death threatening you? Devonomics, whatever is in Devin's favor is the way. Lesson number 6. D35 say Rolly is a gifted champion. Absolutely, Rolly is a gifted champion. Everybody, listen, nobody is taking Rolly that serious like that. Listen, throw Ryan in there, let him take his belt. Throw Ryan in there with Devin, let Devin take the belt. Like, let's just get that cracking. And then Devin can go on and fight the other champions. This is what you've been doing this whole time, Devin. I don't think you should change it now. I understand that you want the money, but continue on your plight for legacy. To me, going to fight AB is backtracking. That's backtracking. Let AB go fight Regis or somebody. Does AB need to even be? Why is AB in a championship fight? Is AB even a contender for a belt? It's so many other people, in my opinion, that deserve a shot at a belt besides AB. And I love AB. I'm an AB fan, but this is not really for him. Oscar doesn't want to do business with Floyd in the PBC. Why? Why don't you want to do business with Floyd in the PBC, Oscar? Why not? Chris Sanchez, what's going on? 2 cents back in the building. The Queen of Boxing Media. All facts, no printer. Appreciate that. Tank and Ryan was not an exhibition. It wasn't an exhibition. Tank and Ryan was not an exhibition. That was a fight. But when it was time for Devin to fight him, now all of a sudden it's a good fight. He a good opponent. He a reputable opponent. He good to fight. But when Tank was fighting him, it was an issue. D35 say Ryan needs to fight C fighters and get the bag until he has another Tank payday is available. I think Ryan can fight whoever. See, this is what I think about Ryan. I don't think Ryan is necessarily a top fighter or an elite fighter, but I think Ryan can give these fighters competitive fights. I think Ryan can bring money to the fights. He can bring fans to the fights. And it doesn't matter whether he win or lose. He's going to continue to keep his fan base. That's how I feel about Ryan. So, yeah, let's fight Ryan. Let's get a bag and let's move on. Nobody is saying Ryan is the best out there because he's not. Like, let's be honest. I do think that if Ryan takes his career more serious, he could definitely be a competitive fighter. And if he's moved correctly, he can be a big face in boxing. But nobody is expecting Ryan to be undisputed at 140. I mean, nobody's expecting that. Nobody's expecting Ryan to go run around and snatch up all the belts. Nobody's expecting Ryan to go fight Matias and wrestle and beat. Like, nobody's expecting that from Ryan. Ryan is an entertainer in the boxing world. Like, we got to understand, Rolly is an entertainer in the boxing world. You get, like, it's different avenues that these boxers are on. And we got to understand their expectation and hold them to those expectations. Rod Walker say Devin thinks he has arrived and he's the big dog, but he ain't Wayne and Benny. He is a puppy by his pay-per-view sales. And a lot of people get upset when you try to mention the business. This is what I've been hearing lately, especially with the Saudi Arabia stuff. Well, I don't care about the business. I just want to see the fights. Why are we counting their pockets and this and that? Well, if boxing is 80% business, as a fan, doesn't it make more sense to understand what's going on with that so you won't be frustrated? And Top Rank, Matchroom, and PBC, they have two different business models. So if you want to go fight a PBC fighter, you're going to have to fight them based on their business model. Now, a lot of people say, well, what did this fighter do to get a fight with Tank? What did this fighter do to get a fight with Tank? They ain't got pay-per-view numbers. No, they don't got pay-per-view numbers, but they're also not asking for these huge, gigantic guarantees and paydays. See, that's where the issue comes in. You want to fight me, but you got the understanding that I'm a cash cow and I make a lot of money. So you think you can come in here and ask for a big guarantee or a big cut of the pie, but you don't produce that. So if you're going to come in here and you're going to take what I offer you, cool, we can fight. But PBC fighters kind of work on commission. They're making their money off the back end. So, of course, it makes sense for me to see what your pay-per-view numbers by. You want to come in here and get a 60-40 split, but you don't do no pay-per-view numbers, you taking my money if I'm providing majority of the pay-per-view sales. And I think that's what a lot of people not realizing. D35 Tank will not be rematching Ryan Garcia. I don't know, Ariana. I think they'll rematch each other if Tank is flipping through, right? I mean, if Ryan Garcia is going through, he win a couple of more fights, or he got a belt, or I don't see why they wouldn't rematch. They did 1.2 million. If Tank gets better and starts to look better, I think they'll rematch. I mean, it'll make big money. Why not? Rod Walker say, same with Bud. The biggest fight was with Spence. His average is less than 100K when you remove Spence and Avanesian. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm not sure if what Spence did started a trend where people feel like, oh, you should give them what they want to make the fight. Well, it's a lot of fighters that's not going to agree to that. Spence did, but who says that it's going to be more fighters that agree to that? Ariana, I'm saying a Tank like payday. Original American say, but the championship belt that he's supposed to be going to fight for, Ryan Garcia, is not fighting for it. Rowley said they playing games. Tank doesn't need Devin. Devin needs Tank. Sandor is next, or Devin gets stripped. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Sandor Martin is going to be next, or Devin going to get stripped. But they said that Devin has a year to fight his mandatory. So I don't know if they trying to get a fight in between, if they trying to get a fight to get them pay-per-view numbers up, you know what I'm saying? So they can be able to negotiate. I'm not sure, but the AB fight just don't make no sense. It says Devin Henry got to fight someone if everybody he's trying to fight is not trying to sign a contract or send a contract. And hold on, what's that vibrating? Is that you? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Let's see. Devin wants geriatric boxers. That's what I'm saying. Devin, it's plenty of competition out there for Devin to fight. Oscar knew Ryan wasn't ready for Tank. He tried to protect him. Ryan is talented, but is heavily outweighed by heart. I mean, of course he wasn't ready for Tank. When is he ever going to be ready for Tank? When is he ever going to be ready for Tank? Devin Haney calling out Adrian Broner. When he was 17, when Floyd Mayweather Sr. was training him, it's on YouTube. When he was 17, how long ago was that? They haven't been calling him. I can see if they've been calling him out throughout his whole career. They ain't been talking about Adrian Broner. Nobody worried about Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner just trying to get in the ring to fight, to make a living at this point. That's it. Devin called out everyone but fights geriatric boxers instead of who he's calling. He's still talking trash about the guys at 135. And I think it's weird that you at 140 now, but you really calling out Tank Davis, and he's a smaller guy. Like, where was this urgency? Where was this pressure when you was at 135? That's really when the fight should have been made. And Sando Martin is next for Devin, and that's what I think. I think Sando Martin is next for Devin. And all of this commotion y'all causing, all of this negotiating in the public y'all causing, I feel like it's just for publicity, keep Devin's name relevant. And it's a lot of people saying Haney doing a good job. He doing a good job. I mean, I guess he doing a good job, but let's let Devin do more talking. Let's let Devin do more of the calling out, because Devin didn't call out AB. Bill called out AB. That's who called out AB. Devin Haney could have been 18 or 19 when he first called out AB, when AB was AB. Yeah, that was a long time ago, y'all. I mean, and they haven't even mentioned his name since. I haven't heard them say nothing about AB. And then on top of that, AB been in a long layoff. He then gained so much weight. Like, the fight just, I don't get the fight. Oscar is about the money, and Ryan doesn't understand that. He's not that skilled, but have a great following to make tons of money. But D35, if Oscar, let me drop the link. If Oscar is about the money, why won't he make the fights then? Because he don't want to share it, split it, but he's going to make more money with bigger fights. Who does Oscar have for Ryan to really fight? Who does Oscar have for Ryan to really fight? Ryan Garcia, bet not underestimate Rolly. He had that crazy power and mess around and knock Ryan out. Yeah, he definitely got the chance to get knocked out. Mayweather didn't take off to making big sales until he beat Oscar De La Hoya, but he had to be the B-side, accept what Oscar gave him in order to be the man. He had to beat the man. Exactly. Somebody say Bill is poop emoji. What's going on, Richardson? What is up? Says when you listen to Bill, it's obvious you regurgitate it and you haven't thought for yourself. Yeah, I mean, when you listen to Bill, listen, Bill's a funny guy though. But when you listen to Bill, it just doesn't make sense a lot of what he's saying, because I think it's weird that they're doing so much negotiating and talking in the public when really all you got to do is call Al. Like, if you really want to make the fight, you got a $20 million offer, you got this call who handles his business. And there's a lot of people that want to act like, oh, you're not your own boss because you got to call Al. I mean, what you mean? I'm a boss. I have people that work for me. Bosses have people that work for them. It's not Tank not at the crib reading contracts and going over contracts. That's not his job. His job is to fight. So just call Al. He says Oscar has fighters in Witsec that fight cab drivers and random dudes on the street on the zone. And you got to understand the zone. The zone pay-per-view model is not the same as PBC's pay-per-view model. The zone not over there doing 700,000 pay-per-views. Last year, the PBC did between 650 and 750,000 with Spence and Crawford. They did between 500 to 600,000 with Canelo and Charlo. They did what's the third one? What's the third big pay-per-view they did? It's slipping my mind right now. They did another big pay-per-view with somebody. It's slipping my mind right now. So for people saying Saudi Arabia is saving boxing, I think it's weird to me. What was that last big pay-per-view? When it come back, I'm gonna think about it. Somebody said, who else ever had to call Al? You the A-side, send the contract. So you think Micah Larkins, you think Tank sending the contract? Or you think Al sends the contract? When Spence and Crawford was in that hallway, what did Spence say? Call Al. Al handles the business. Tank don't send no contracts. Just like Bill don't send no contracts. Bill can't send no contract. He got to talk to Eddie Hearn because that's who they signed with. Tank scared to death. Scared of what exactly, Larkins? What exactly is Tank scared of? Why is Tank scared? Devin ain't no monster. Devin ain't out here knocking people out, dropping people cold. He barely knocking people down. What is he scared of exactly? What is Tank scared of exactly? So it's a lot of people saying that Saudi Arabia is saving boxing and how Tank Davis should go over to Saudi to fight Devin and this and that. And I just think that a lot of people not realizing PBC just signed a deal with Amazon Prime. Tank is one of the biggest names at the PBC. He hasn't even fought on Amazon Prime yet. So what kind of business person would I be if I let my one of my biggest fighters at my company go off and fight in Saudi Arabia when I just signed this deal with them? Brand new deal. We ain't even had a fight on Amazon Prime yet. But y'all want me to let one of my biggest fighters go and fight in Saudi Arabia? I don't understand that. And what has Saudi Arabia done to make you think that they're saving boxing? They're saving the zone and top rank because the zone and top rank don't have the same model as PBC. So you're saying, oh, 20 million, 20 million. Tank is already making that. Tank is already making that type of money. There's no need for him to, quote unquote, turn his back on Amazon Prime and PBC and go over there and fight in Saudi Arabia. He has a fan base here. He sells out wherever he goes. Like, I don't under he hasn't even fought on Amazon Prime yet, y'all. So you already should know that that's not happening. I could see if they was a few years in, he fought some fights over there at Amazon Prime already, then maybe we could talk about going to Saudi Arabia. But to just go to Saudi Arabia and just skip out on your obligations that you have with Amazon Prime since you're one of the biggest names at the PBC, that just doesn't make good business sense. Like, where's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty? I never said Tank since the contract, but if the fighter wants to fight, he will talk to his promoter to send the contract, right? Listen, first of all, if Tank wants to fight Devin, he'll send Devin a contract. Like, Devin, you want to fight me. You're not about to rush me and be like, oh, send the contract. I want to fight. Like, you just gonna have to chill. You just gonna have to wait till I want to fight you. Period. Like, you're not about to just try to rush me all of a sudden to try to fight you. You beat Regis, now all of a sudden you the best thing smoking. Like, let's be for real. Like, let's be for real. It doesn't matter. Like, if Devin, see, this is what the perspective I don't think a lot of people taking. If Devin really wants to fight Tank, why is he making it so hard to make the fight? Why is he making it so hard to make the fight? You saying you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna do that, you gotta get this money. You don't really want the fight then. You're the one being difficult, not Tank. Doesn't matter if he's knocking people out or down, the man don't want to fight. Okay. You said he's scared. I'm just trying to figure out what is he scared of exactly. Because Tank is definitely knocking everything out. And if Devin wants to fight so bad, see, I feel like the Haney fans should be like, man, just call Al, get the negotiations done, and take the fight. But you're trying to take me away from what I already have going on to go and fight you somewhere else, as if you could tell me what to do. As if a $20 million offer is that's big to you. That ain't big to me. I can generate that type of revenue with what I'm doing and where I'm at. You can't. And that's the perspective I don't think people looking at. The boxers don't send contracts, they negotiate them. Exactly, Skills from New Orleans. Tank ain't scared of Devin, neither is Shakur. That's the Haney Hive mind talking. You are a part of the collective. It says Shakur and Tank shook of each other as well. Listen, nobody's scared of none. Listen, none of these guys are scared of each other, just to give my 2 cents. I don't think none of these guys scared of each other. I think it's business. I think it's business. I think that Saudi Arabia, I think Top Rank and the Zone has teamed up with Saudi Arabia, and they're trying to compete with the PBC and Amazon Prime with what they got going on. That's what I think. Because Top Rank can't compete with PBC and the Zone can't compete with PBC. So they teamed up with the Saudis, got a bunch of money, think they finna throw a bunch of money at these fighters, and they're gonna just jump ship with the PBC and go over there and fight. When they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. There hasn't been one fight on Amazon Prime yet. And now all of a sudden the Saudis are saving boxing. Like how? Did the Day of Reckoning card do 1 million pay-per-view buys? No, it did not. It did not. I don't even think it cracked 100,000 pay-per-view buys. And then you got the Saudi guy saying he wants Tank and he want to do this and he do that. Why don't they call Al? What is up with all this negotiating in the public that they doing? Saudi just setting that bag out. That's all it is. That's all they doing. They just throwing a bunch of money. And you can go over there and get a bunch of money, but then what happens after that? You haven't built no fan base up in America. You haven't built your name up in America. You haven't. Are you gonna go to fight in Saudi for the rest of your career? If Devin Haney does Devin Haney just want to make 20 million, or does he want to be a star? Like what is it? What is his goal here? Is his goal just to make a lot of money? And if the Saudis want Devin, why Devin can't go to Saudi Arabia and fight somebody else? Why he can't go fight Ryan in Saudi? Why he can't go fight somebody else in Saudi and make a bag? Why does it have to be Tank? So is it Devin the Devin that the Saudis want, or is it Tank that the Saudis want? And they trying to use Devin to get him over there. Ariana say the hate is real for Tank. Rob Walker say the PBC is saving boxing. The media wants anyone but them. Black people saving boxing. That's why they give it to the Saudis. What have they done? What has the Saudis done to prove that they're quote unquote saving boxing? They did one Day of Reckoning card with the heavyweights, and it was mid. I mean, it was okay. But in my opinion, the most exciting fight was the Big Baby Miller fight. That was the most exciting fight on the card. All the other fights was lackluster. All the other fights was lackluster. I didn't see a reason to abandon PBC and Amazon to go fight in Saudi Arabia. Newsflash, Tank will not be going to Saudi Arabia. He already put out a tweet saying he not going to Saudi Arabia. D-Town in the building, what's going on? He already put out a tweet saying he not going to Saudi Arabia. We got Mike in the building. What's going on, Mike?
So yeah, usually I agree with most of the stuff you say, but I can't be with you on this Tank situation because Ryan said the same thing that Devin was saying, and Ryan even pulled out of negotiations the first time, and Tank sent him a different contract, and he accepted it. I feel like I don't want it. I honestly I don't want him to go to Saudi Arabia either, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if he sent the contract, they're gonna take it.
Who, Tank?
Devin. Yeah, if Tank's in the contract, Devin gonna take it. He ain't contracted with the Saudi prince or nothing. I mean the Saudi whatever he is, the excellency dude, whatever.
Yeah, so you mean if Tank sent him a contract, they're gonna fight here?
Yeah. I'm almost positive that they would. Now I can't say I'm positive because I don't know for sure, but I feel like they would because he want that notoriety.
But that's what I'm not
Everybody,
understanding.
even getting knocked out by Tank, you more
You a
famous.
star, right? That's what I'm saying. But what's the Saudi talk about though? That's what I'm not understanding. Like,
Saudi because he's sick and he like boxing and he wants to bring boxing to Saudi Arabia. I guess that's what it sounds like. He's sick and he just throwing away money basically
you
to
say
have
he's
fight
sick?
stage. Yeah,
What you mean he's sick? I don't know nothing about this.
yeah, he's sick and that's why he just throwing away money basically because he's sick. He want them fights to be in Saudi Arabia so he can watch them.
So why can't Devin go fight somebody else in Saudi Arabia? Like, why is it such the big push to be like, Tank, fight me in Saudi Arabia, or are you ducking? Like, that's what I'm
I don't
getting
know.
from it.
Now that I don't understand. I feel like he could possibly fight Matthias out there too, but I don't understand that either. But I feel like he would fight him in wherever. I
Yeah.
think the fight would do great numbers in Vegas.
But I see this is what I'm thinking. I don't of course I think he'll probably fight him wherever, but it's such a push for this Saudi Arabia thing and this 20 million and this 40 million and all of this stuff. And I'm not understanding. why that is. Like,
I know why. Because
because
didn't Tank and Leonard Ellaby both say that it's not about you. You can't eat belts. You can't feed your kids belts. It's all about the money. And so they try to throw money at it. They got the money out there, and so I mean
but why
that's
are
what they
people
about
not
to pay
taking it?
Anthony Joshua 50 million, but it's a flat fee. They was trying to give Tank 20 million plus pay per view, and it's worldwide pay per view, so he stands to make more money that way.
But they're not listen, that's cool, it's quote unquote worldwide pay-per-view, but what does that even mean? And that Day of Reckoning card didn't break no records or do no great pay-per-view numbers. Like, you got to think about the time the fight gonna be. Like, it's not what we're used to here in America.
We
So
don't know that though. Why
what
would
you
he keep
mean?
putting up? We don't know that the Day of Reckoning didn't do good numbers. Who said that? The Zone
Well,
don't put out good numbers.
I heard some numbers between 50, 70,000.
That's what they be saying, but the
I
Zone
mean,
don't
if
put
we
out
don't
their
know
numbers.
any of it, then if that's the case, we don't know none
The
of it
Zone
then.
don't does the Zone don't never put out their numbers. It's always someone close to the Zone or someone who works close to the Haney's or someone who works close to Deontay Wilder. Like, nah, if it ain't Eddie himself or if it ain't like Matchroom or DAZN they self, then I don't believe none of that. Just like when what's that dude name? That old racist dude. Uh
Rick Glacier.
you know exactly who I was. Yeah. When he said Tank only did 55,000 pay-per-view buys with
Oh, with
the
Hector
little,
Garcia.
yeah, I was like,
Cut it out, right?
ain't
But
no
okay,
way.
so why Devin just won't go over there then and get some numbers and then come back and then negotiate with Tank?
Honestly, I think that's what he was trying to do with Ryan. I seen the play for real. But I don't know. I'm pretty. I thought he sent him. I thought they tried to offer him 20 million for pay per views.
I ain't hear nothing about Ryan and Saudi. All I keep hearing is Tank, 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 Tank out of Bill
I
mouth
don't know
about
where the
going.
Ryan fight would have been at. I'm not sure where the. I'm pretty sure that Ryan would have went to Saudi Arabia though if they was talking the right amount of money. But he was hung up on being the A side, and now he ain't fighting nobody because he's goofy.
Yeah, and I think that's partly Oscar fault though. I mean, I know Ryan get a lot of the heat, but we gotta understand Oscar over there BSing too, in my opinion.
Oscar been telling Ryan that he wanted. What's that dude he just signed? Or didn't he just sign somebody that Ryan that he
Jose
trying to push Ryan?
Ramirez.
Yeah, he trying to push Ryan to fight him. And I honestly think that would be a good fight. For real.
It'll
I
probably be a
think
good
Ro
fight.
and but I think Rolly will knock Ryan out. Now that's unpopular opinion.
I
People was calling me stupid in the chat the other day, but
I
I
mean,
think
it could go
Rolly.
either way. It could go
I
either
don't
way.
think so. I don't think so. Rolly gonna put that pressure on him,
Hey,
and Ryan
Ryan got a chin though. He could take some licks though.
Ryan is gonna get slept
Man,
fighting
it'll
Rolly.
be a good fight.
Just
We need
like
to see that fight.
just like Rolly about to beat up Pit Puppy.
Pitbull
Yes,
Cruz has
man.
lost all his lackluster after that Cabrera
I
fight.
I don't like. I didn't like the way. I don't know. I just don't like him fighting these super tall fights. Like Tank know how to fight them, but Pitbull just gonna come straight forward, and I think Rolly just gonna beat on him. I, honestly, I can't see how Pitbull gonna win that fight,
Rolly
and I
ain't got no
think that
chin though, if we honest.
yeah, but is Pitbull gonna reach that chin?
Wait, how much taller? Rolly ain't that dang on tall.
Rolly like 5'7", but Pitbull 5'3".
Pitbull is smaller than Tank.
He's smaller than Tank and got a 63-inch arm reach. Like I ain't never heard of nothing so small. Monster anyway got Monster anyway got a longer reach than Pitbull.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that'd
But
be a good fight.
Ryan and Rolly is an anticipated fight. Like, that's a fight people want to see. I
I
think
want to
it'll
see it.
do good fight. It'll be some good numbers. I mean, Pitbull
I'd
is
rather see
decent.
Ryan versus the old man. Let's see that.
Oh, you know Ryan getting slept. That old man though, he coming up. That man might mess around and get a belt. Y'all better stop playing with
Hey,
that old man.
I was what I said. I was like, man, he better not. I was like, then I don't know, cause
Somebody say, "Are you in a shipping container?"
yeah, yeah, I'm at work. I'm about to yeah,
Let's see.
drive a
Devin
daggone forklift.
Devin don't want that A whooping. Devin
From
track
who?
record
Barroso?
says
What's his name?
call out
Barroso?
from Tank. Devin's track record says call out everyone, frame the duck, and fight an old dude. I mean, that's exactly what they doing with AB. If they fight AB, I'm gonna be like, okay, Devin, you're not serious, bro.
I don't
You're not
think
serious.
AB's. I don't think AB would be serious, but he is promoted by John King, and if we know anything about John King, he will throw a mug into the wool.
Listen, AB is trying to earn. AB is getting a paycheck at this point. Like, does anybody
Yeah,
really
that's what
expect
I.
AB to come back and be a champion? And it would be great. It'd be a hell of a story. But
Hey,
AB,
AB
A,
versus Rowley, he might get a belt.
he ducked that fight. If we honest,
Oh,
I
oh,
think
oh, I ain't
PBC
know
was.
about that.
I think I think PBC was trying to make the AB Rolly fight, and he ran off to BLK Prime. That's what I think.
The little failed company.
And he ain't get a fight.
That's funny though. And then what you think about the Crawford? He ain't trying to fight Errol Spence.
I'm not understanding the whole Crawford and the rematch. All I don't get that. Like, at what point is the rematch off? They said they have a year to It's a year on the contract, and Crawford only fights once a year anyway. And they said it wouldn't take long for Earl's little eye surgery he got to heal. So I don't. I'm so confused about that talk.
It's 2024 too, so he due for another fight.
And they saying, oh, well, Earl holding up his career and this and that. And I mean, I think that's kind of odd, y'all saying that after it took damn near 2 years to make the first fight with all the negotiations and the stalling and the fight in Evanesian. But I'm not sure why this talk about
We know
Tim
why he
Zoo.
was stalling.
I mean,
But
I'm just saying, like, doesn't if he does he has to fight it unless
yeah,
Earl's just like
he's
walks away.
contract. It's yeah, he's obligated through the contract. Now everybody talking about Earl got to fight Jerron Ennis to earn a, a fight with Terrence Crawford. I'm like,
How y'all gonna throw Jerron on Spence when he already said he going up to 54? It was
telling you.
Crawford the one talking about fighting at 47. So if anybody should have to fight Ennis, it would be Crawford since he's the one still saying he want to fight at 47.
And that's the crazy thing. How you gonna try to throw another fighter in front of you?
You the one with the
Like,
belts.
get rid of him and then I'll fight you. Like, what?
I don't know. I just think
Now
that's
what if Jerron Ennis knock Errol Spence out? Then what? He still ain't gonna fight.
I think he gonna be fighting Spence. I mean, then there's a lot of people saying, well, Spence don't want the rematch. But why did he say he wanted it if he didn't
Spence
want it?
saying he wants the rematch. It's Crawford that's not trying to do the rematch. He talking about everybody else but Spence. He talking
But that's
about
what I'm saying. Like,
Canelo.
how?
He gonna go up there and get brain damage fighting Canelo. I don't like that look. I don't like
Now
that
they
look.
talking about Tim Zoo. I'm like, where is Tim Zoo coming
Oh,
from?
he could beat Tim Zoo. Tim Zoo already scared. I seen that interview. Tim Zoo already sounds scared.
He
He said,
sounds scared. He
"Yeah,
said
he
he
talking
beat
about
me.
Crawford's nearly perfect."
Oh hell no.
Bro, you about to you about to get slept if you go in there scared.
Somebody say, how do we know when Bill is lying? Whenever his lips are moving.
Oh, I don't let if Devin Haney don't say it himself, then I don't really listen to Bill because I can't understand half the shit half the stuff when Bill talking anyway. Like he always rambling.
Bill
So
a
I
funny
don't really
guy. Bill a funny guy.
and,
He says a
and
lot,
he
and I'm just like, at what point does Devin kind of step in? Because Devin not calling these fighters out and saying this. This is all Bill. Devin didn't call out AB. Devin ain't get on Twitter and be like, AB, I want you next. That was all Bill.
yeah. Bill and AB was arguing. Yeah, Devin ain't had nothing to do with that. I doubt Devin even want to fight AB for real. But yeah, Bill, he talked just like Crawford. It'd be like riddles and they'd be dancing around the subject and stuff. Like, okay.
They just want to cause chaos.
But that's, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's entertainment, I guess. But just like Matias, like, I mean, just like Tio, like I was defending him. Ah, man, I feel stupid.
You was
Now they're
defending
saying,
Theo.
yeah, because he sent Matias a contract. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, he trying to fight somebody. Like, but now they saying that Tio knew that Matias had an injury and he was trying to fight at a certain time and knew that Matias' hand injury wasn't going to be healed by that time. So he just did that for the optics.
Yeah, I
So he
don't
could
know if
say
you
that.
realize once Matias got injured, now everybody bringing up his name. They wasn't saying Matias' name before he hurt his hand.
And the crazy thing is, I think Tio would beat Matias.
I don't
I
think
don't.
Tio's scared to fight nobody, in my
I
opinion.
don't think Matias is that good. He's just a bruiser. He ain't got no defense. Like,
Man, he hit hard.
he hit hard, but what happened when he get hit hard back?
They say he could take a lick. I mean, but nobody was saying
But he
Matias
ain't got hit
had
by
injuries.
Tio yet. Like he getting hit by these little scrubs.
They
I
say
don't
pit
know.
bull looks like a pit bull puppy. He throws no jabs, just wide hooks. He is cannon fodder. Somebody
That's
say
how
Bill.
that's how Matias that's how Matias fight too.
I mean, they
He
did say
fight just
Tank was
like
about
a
to fight Matias, but LB
Tank
came
will
out and said that was cap.
destroy Matias.
I think his style
But
tailor made for a Tank. He come
yeah, he
forward.
gonna come straight forward and get knocked out like Rolly did. Same way.
Yep. But
Like I don't understand the hype around Matias. I seen him, but he been in close fights with dudes that done lost 3, 4 fights. Like, come on. He lost to a dude that lost 4 fights already. Got knocked out twice. Like, come on. Man.
he got a chin though. Matias got a chin, and he be breaking them dudes down. He be
Yeah,
breaking
but
a lot.
even
A lot of shots he blocking though. He not just he ain't like moving his head. He block a lot of shots, but
that dude in his gym, he said himself, if he was like, yeah, we might lose the rounds, but we're gonna eventually knock you out. You can't have that mentality. That's how my nigga Wilder be getting down on the cards, like
I
trying to
mean, but when you
rely on
knock
the
people
knockout.
out, you ain't worried about no cards. That's the same with Tank. Tank ain't worried about no cards. He know he gonna set
A
you
lot
up,
of
and
times Tank be winning though already. Like with Pit Puppy, he was already winning that fight.
a lot of people
Everybody,
think Tank lost that fight.
cool.
It's some people want to see the rematch. They think Tank lost that fight because Pitbull kept coming forward and was aggressive. They felt like Tank lost that
See,
fight.
is he walking it? Because Pitbull walking straight forward in the punches, like just because he the aggressor. That don't. Oh no,
It
that's
said
that's the fight Tank should.
Devin called out Gary Russell at 135. Then he gets to 140. Crickets. Where's the smoke? They said they did some crazy stuff with them contracts trying to fight Russell at 35. That's why that fight didn't happen. They was doing some scheme
Gary Russell.
con and stuff.
Hold on, it was it Gary Russell Jr. or Gary Antoine Russell?
Whichever one is at 135. I get them mixed up.
That's Gary Russell Jr. at 130, but he trying to fight Tank at 135, and Gary Antoine Russell at 140. And I don't know. I don't think nobody want no smoke with Gary Antoine.
They
I
nobody
got
saying his name.
I got Gary Antoine beating him off.
Marquis,
Real.
what up? Is that how you
It's
say
just
your name?
he
Marquis?
be
Marquis.
inactive.
Tank beat Cruz with one hand. That's what I was saying. I don't even know why I was even the man for that fight. But who you think Tank fight next? It's a lot of speculation going around.
Uh,
People saying he gonna fight Ryo next. They were
he
saying
gonna
he
do
gonna fight Matias next, but Ellerby came out and shut that down.
because it ain't no game for him to fight. It ain't like I don't. That wouldn't make no sense for him to fight Fia. Because then everybody gonna just be like, well, he was supposed to win that fight. Mhm. Soon everybody
They're gonna say
Matias the
that
world
about
would
everybody Tank fights though. If it ain't Shakur, if it ain't Devin, people gonna have a problem with whoever Tank fight. And we all know Tank is not fighting Shakur no time soon, as long as Shakur is over there with Top Rank. Because for some
That's why
reason,
that's I feel like that's why he stayed there.
but this
Huh?
allegedly his last fight. His next fight is supposed to be Shakur's last fight with Top Rank, allegedly.
He gonna go back just like his boy Crawford did.
So is it safe to say if Shakur go back with Top Rank, he don't want the smoke?
He don't, cause who they got over there at in his weight class besides Lomachenko? Like
And I don't know why Bob not making that Lomachenko fight. There's no reason why Shakur shouldn't be fighting Lomachenko instead of
because
Cambosis.
because Lomachenko is his darling. You know, that's his
Loma-
boy. He don't want he don't want Lomachenko to get embarrassed by everybody.
And it's a lot of people saying that Tank should fight Lomachenko. And I'm like, why is this such a great fight for Tank to fight Lomachenko? Lomachenko got
I
like
don't
four
think
losses and he's already been beat by Devin. If
I don't
Tank
think it's a
beat
great fight.
Lomachenko, what is that gonna prove?
I don't think it's a great fight, but it's still a name to put on his resume. So I
I
mean,
mean, he got beat by Tiafimo.
I'd be cool with him fighting Loma. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be cool with that, with him knocking Loma out. But that's just because I don't really rock with Lomachenko. I don't like how they pushed him. He keep getting title fights and losing.
Every fight is a title fight for Loma.
Like he got to be making bread.
And he keep losing. Loss after loss, title shot after title shot. Ain't no way he need to work his way back up. He don't never have to work his way back up. And how Cambosa's in another title shot? How Cambosa's and Loma, how both of them getting a title shot, and then you got Shakur. I mean, I guess Shakur about to fight for a title too, I believe. Navarrete, is that for a title?
Oh, I thought Shakur already did. Nah, he ain't fight for no belt yet. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he
yeah,
fighting
the
for a
Santos
belt.
fight was for a vacant belt, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I guess he already got his belt. I think Loma gonna do the fight with Cambosis, and Cambosis gonna beat Loma, and then Cambosis gonna
Cambosa's
fight
no
Shakur.
hell no, no, no,
Yes.
no
Okay.
way.
All right. I'll
Cambosa's
be
gonna
back when he
beat
do.
Loma. You gotta come back for that.
I'm
Ain't
gonna
no
be back.
way.
I'm gonna be back whether he win or lose. Just like I had to eat. I had to eat pro when Errol Spence lost. Man, it was people all on my Facebook and stuff just going in on me.
I mean, it's a lot of people that thought, man, we can't even get into that. But Cambosis, if Cambosis just lost to Maxi Hughes,
Barely.
he got gifted that win, man.
I mean, uh, uh,
Look,
uh,
Doghouse say Loma did not beat Devin. Some people think Loma beat Devin.
that's what they say. That's just because they don't like Devin. Like I understand,
Nah, but that
but
was I do think Devin beat Loma, but that was a close fight
it
though.
was a
I,
close fight. So I could have took it either way, really. But I thought Devin won.
and I'm like,
I
them
wouldn't have been crying robbery if Loma won. But
yeah, he didn't do enough to beat the champion though, in my opinion. It was a close fight, but you got to do a little bit more to beat the champion.
and like Devin won because even Polly Malignaggi was
But what make you think that Cambosis can beat Loma?
the way Cambosis fights people that's around his size is different than the way he fight people with longer arms. Watch out as close as Loma gonna have to get to him. I feel like Cambosis could knock Loma out.
Loma ain't been the same since. I mean, Cambosis ain't been the same since he took them whoopings from Devin.
Loma ain't been the same since he got beat up by Tio.
I mean, but he's really lost all his big fights at 135 for real.
And Cambosis gonna be another one. Telling you, Cambosis getting that belt, and then Shakur, little goofy butt, gonna try to get that fight right away. He gonna try to set that up right away. If Loma lose to Cambosa,
Bob gonna have him rematch.
Bob. Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Marquis say Devin looked worried and shaky in the booth against Loma. Yeah, Devin don't do too good on
He
the
definitely
inside.
did. He definitely did look nervous. I ain't gonna hold you. And it was times where I thought that it might might go down, but nah.
I don't see Cambosis being able to beat no Loma. Like that's I ain't even
I don't
heard
know
that.
why.
You the first person I heard say that.
Okay, it's just all right. Because
He
Maxie
ever did with
Hughes
that
is
footwork.
is a better fighter than people be giving him credit for. Just like I think El Rayo, or is that his name? El Rayo. I think he a better fighter than people gave him credit for because he got knocked out by De Los Santos.
El Rayo not that great, bro. Like he beat Chris Colbert, and Chris Colbert ain't even had no business at 135. He too small. Oh,
I
somebody
never
said
like.
Cambosis turned down the Shakur fight. Really?
Yeah, so did Loma. Both turned it down, but once they when they got the belt, I mean, what you gonna do? You turn down a unification bout for a regular fight? Like,
Rod Walker say Cambosis is pure, unadulterated trash.
but is Loma really good anymore? I'm just saying, I see that upset coming.
That's a big upset. You gonna put money on it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna put yeah. Them odds gonna be heavily in Loma favor. I said that yesterday on what's knockout boxing stream. He was
Andre
like,
Nova, what's up?
he was like, you out of your mind. I'm like, bro, I'm
You the
putting
only
that.
person. Look, I just want to let you know you the only person with this perspective.
It's gonna be 1,000 to 1 odds, and when I come on this stream, I'm gonna have a fur coat on, like, bro.
Man, hell no. He gonna have to knock him out because they definitely not finna give it to Cambosis on the cards, and I don't see
They
that.
might ain't they going to Australia?
I don't know. Are they fighting in Australia, chat? Where is Cambosis and Loma fighting at? When is that fight?
Dude,
They laughing at you. They got boy got 5 laughing emojis. He says, "Is this guy serious?" Hey,
I'm dead serious. And what? What? I mean, okay, so maybe saying that he gonna beat him is a little too strong. He gonna do better than y'all think.
hmm.
But I'm definitely still gonna bet on him. Put a little change on him.
Hey, but Cambosis will capitalize if you BSing though, like he did To.
Trying to tell you, he was not supposed to beat T.O. That was a write off right there.
I didn't think he was gonna beat. I kept saying Cambosis was gonna beat To because To was not focused throughout that whole build up of that fight.
Even not being focused, T.O. was still supposed to sleep that boy.
He
I don't
did
care.
though. He did. He did come through at the end of the fight, but I don't know. I don't know. I gotta look up them odds for that fight.
And just like the yeah, it was just like the AB Maidana fight. At the end of that fight, AB was whooping Maidana. I
Yeah, he was letting
was
his hands
whooping
up.
Maidana like, and I like he could have did that the whole fight. Sure. That's what I was saying about Tio, but it was I'm like it's too late now.
If Gary Russell move up to fight Tank, I don't want to see that. Gary Russell been out the ring too long. He coming off an injury. I don't want to see Gary Russell fighting Tank. Somebody say you will have a fur coat on with roller skates with bikers eating a fruit roll up, homie. T.O. fights to his competitors. That's his downfall. Yeah. T.O. is very inconsistent. Like if T.O. was more consistent, he would be more on an elite level. But T.O.'s good, but you just never know what you're gonna get with T.O. That's the only issue with T.O. in my opinion. Is he trying to have a hot take on something? I don't know, Marquis. I don't know. And he confident though. He think Cambosis is give Loma a run for his money. He think Cambosis will give Loma a run for his money. But we'll see. But I'm just waiting on the PBC to drop this schedule. They say Tank's supposed to be fighting in March. It's a whole big deal about who he fighting. Um, PBC need to go ahead and get started so we can stop all this Saudi Arabia talk. I haven't even heard of them mentioning nobody else fighting in Saudi Arabia besides the heavyweights. They making a light heavyweight fight over there between who y'all think, Bivol or Beterbiev, Beterbiev, however you say his name. I keep hearing it pronounced so many different ways. What y'all think, chat? Is Bivol gonna be able to pull it off? Well, can he outbox him for 12 rounds or will he get stopped? TL will beat Devin. I'm not sure why Walker. I think that will be a good fight. T.O. and Devin, I think, will be a really good fight. Devin, I believe Devin really studies his opponents and he's able to execute the game plans that's put together for him very, very real. Ray Davis in the building, what's going on? He's able to execute those game plans very well. So I could see Devin beating T.O., but T.O. gonna have to come in on the top of his game. T.O. gonna have to come in on the top of his game. Rod Walker say better Biv. What's up, Ray? Richardson say Bivol. Okay. Better Biv by knockout. You know, that's gonna be a good fight. It's a lot of mixed, it's no definitive Biv will go win, better Biv gonna win. Is no definitive who's gonna win in that fight. And this fight has been a long time in the making. It's been a lot of people talking about this fight. Now, what about the allegations for the PED usage? Better Biv has come out. He's had a adverse finding or whatever verbiage they want to use to try to say you cheating, but you ain't really cheating. He's been Eddie Hearn has called him out about that, which I think is weird. Eddie Hearn calling anybody out about cheating when all his fighters keep getting popped. Like, I don't know what's going on in Matchroom, but they need to get it together. Richardson says Bivol gonna box that juice boy's ears off. Ray Davis say, then why didn't that fight happen? T.O. also was the A-side twice and never walked that line. You talking about Devin, Ray? T.O. has that dog in him when he is on top of his game. I think they should make a Devin T.O. fight for real. That'll be a really good fight. That'll be a really good competitive fight. You can't definitively say T.O. gonna be Devin or Devin is gonna be T.O. If T.O. BSing, I could see it, but if they both on the top of their game, that'll be a really good fight to see. It says Bivol has a better chance as long as their ring is 8x8. Eddie Hearn is a PED pusher. Man, I don't know what's going on with Eddie Hearn and his fighters, but I'm ready to see this Bivol fight. And then you got Usyk and Fury coming up. Who y'all got in that fight? Usyk versus Fury. And I believe all these fights will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. I think it happens next year if T.O. gets past Jermaine. Yeah, who y'all got, T.O. or Jermaine? That fight is coming up. T.O. or Jermaine Ortiz, who y'all got winning that fight? Devin versus T.O. is 50-50 fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it'll do good pay-per-view numbers. I think it'll be great build-up. T.O.'s dad, Bill, Devin, T.O. It'll be very entertaining. Be very entertaining. That's the fight they should be focused on making instead of trying to worry about Tank. Somebody say, man, I ate a lot of damn crow after that Spence fight, but I'm still team Spence. Man down all day. Crawford out here doing all this talking about who he gonna fight next, and he gonna fight Zoo, and Spence came on Twitter. He said, man, get out your feelings and let's do the rematch. And he ain't really said much since. And here go everybody again. Spence need to say something. Spence need to say something. Every time the man say something, y'all go at his throat. Like, what y'all want Spence to say? He signed for the rematch. He let y'all know his story and what was going on with him. He was transparent. Y'all tore the man apart. Crawford get online doing all this and that. He tell Crawford, get out your feelings. Let's do the rematch. And that, you ain't heard nothing else. The only person talking about not doing the rematch is Crawford when he's contractually obligated. So I don't even understand what that fight is about. Richardson said I won't be watching Fury versus Usyk. I won't be watching that fight either. I don't really fool with Fury like that or Usyk. Like I don't really even care for that fight. I'm not really even into the heavyweight division right now. It's just not exciting. Tio better come on his A game versus Ortiz, or it'll end up like Cambosa's performance. I mean, he all in the videos and all in the media talking all this crap about how he want to fight Crawford and this and that. So he's selling the fight, but we'll see what Tio do. Yep, big fish all day. Didn't Dev call out Thurman and the Mexican at 147? Who was the Mexican? He did call out Thurman, but I think Keith Thurman said he wasn't worried about Devin. I need Devin to call out people his age. Like, why are you trying to fight Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman is ain't no top contender like that at this point. Thurman, AB, all those fighters that's a generation ahead of you, leave them alone. Let them fight each other. Let them fight for entertainment purposes. Fight the people in your class right now. You in a whole nother decade trying to fight people. Ortiz will serve Teofimo. Okay. What's up, Teach? Salute 2 cents. If Saudi is giving us the fights we want to see, I'm all for it. If they don't, well, they will get the same criticism. Well, it seems as though all the fights people want to see involve PBC fighters, right? And the PBC could give the fights the people want to see, but the people that want to fight those fighters, just to give my 2 cents, don't want to adhere to the business model. And I think that's what the issue is. Rod Walker say Devin is at 140. Why is he calling out 147 and 135-pound fighters? Fight Gary A. Russell or his mandatory Sandor. Right? He calling out everybody except the people at his weight class. He calling out everybody except the people at his weight class. If Devin Haney fights AB or he fights Sando Martin next, I'm no longer paying attention to no rhetoric coming out of Bill's mouth. I already said that after he was trying to call out Tank when he had that 3-fight deal at Top Rank. I'm really not listening to it now, but it's good for content, entertainment purposes. But when he was saying, oh, we don't got to fight the rematch, the Ali Act, and we can do this and we can do that. We can fight Tank. I'm like, okay, dude, like, you got a 3-fight deal with Top Rank. And who's to say he don't have a 3-fight deal with the Zone? And he can't fight none of these people anyway. Like we don't really know what's going on with that. So they're gonna keep being out here, Devin and Bill out here pushing P propaganda for publicity. And they trying to keep Devin's name relevant, is what it seems like. But it's starting to get old. People starting not to, they're just gonna stop paying attention to it, is what's gonna happen. And Ellerby and them getting sick of it. Espinoza, I got a video up about Espinoza saying, hey, just because you keep saying your person is a star, that don't make them a star. That's not necessarily how you do promotion. So it seems like they pissing a lot of people off with that. Brad Walker say the Saudis want the criticism because the media supports them. They will always blame Al and the PBC. I don't get it, though. I don't get it. PBC put on some great fights last year. PBC put on some good fights last year. The Zone ain't doing that. What's the best card the Zone put on last year? What's the best card Top Rank put on last year? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. I just named y'all some fights. Spence Crawford, Charlo Canelo, and I cannot think. Oh, Tank and Ryan Garcia. Those are some big cards that PBC put on last year. Please name me the Zone cards and the Top Rank cards that were able to compete with those cards from last year. Drop it in the chat. And even the Day of Reckoning card, that wasn't that great of a card. Like, you had Anthony Joshua on there, you had Deontay Wilder on there, Big Baby Miller. that it wasn't that great of a card. It was a great idea to have a whole heavyweight card, but it just wasn't nothing to write home about. Rod Walker said there wasn't a good fight on the zone unless you count that clown Mungia. Okay, Larkin say PBC does put on the best fights. Okay. The Benavides fights were cool. Oh yeah, and David put on two good fights last year. So why does boxing need saving? So let's not say boxing needs saving. Let's say Top Rank and the Zone needs saving. And honestly, they need the PBC fighters because if that wasn't the case, Saudi Arabia wouldn't be messing with Tank. Bob wouldn't be talking about, oh, he'll make the Shakur fight in Saudi Arabia, A side, B side, not important. Bob wouldn't even be talking like that. The Zone do put on good women fights, Marquis. They do. They do have the best women fighters. I wish PBC would kind of jump into that, but they do put on the best women fights. That's probably what they got going for them right now. Rod Walker say Top Rank in the Zone is trash. It was a good idea for wrecking, just an idea. It was a good idea, but all this rhetoric about how they saving boxing and this and that, like, when did boxing need saving? When did boxing need saving? We're gonna see what goes on with this Saudi Arabia stuff over the next year. Let's at least let PBC get started with Amazon Prime before we start trying to pull fighters away and get them to fight in a whole nother country when they've built a fan base and a market over here in order to do that. Let's see how this year goes first before we start trying to do all that. As you can see, they trying to do all this before it even gets started with Amazon Prime. So if you ask me, I feel like Top Rank and the Zone has teamed up with Saudi Arabia to try to get their fighters paid, which is cool. That is no problem with that. But let's leave the PBC fighters alone. Boxing is in a good place. It's relevant in the media we see today. It says, I have to say that Top Rank women card was good last night. Yeah, Top Rank, they put on the good women cards. Top Rank's in the Zone. They got all the women fighters. Does PBC have any women fighters? Who are they? The Zone is trash outside of women boxing. Top Rank is like the G League, fighting prospects and creative matchmaking. Top Rank to me is more like worldwide. Like they got all these Japanese fighters and all this other stuff. Like they're the ones that's not focused on the American market. They don't have no problems taking their fighters over there. They're the ones that's not focusing on the American market. I'm riding with PBC all day. Absolutely. Boxing doesn't need saving. People just like to talk. Listen, they got the excellency. They got his video up. They got pictures of him up saying he's saving boxing. Completely disrespecting PBC and Al Heyman. It's crazy. I personally like the 3 promo PBC, Top Rank, and the Zone. Better Bev never had an adverse finding. He had an atypical finding, and they're nowhere near the same. Okay. Well, whatever he had, atypical, and I guess they were saying with the atypical, they were saying that you naturally could have these things going on with you. So who knows, right? But he was cleared and everything is cool. So Eddie Hearn says the fight's already signed. I believe they said Bivol already signed to fight Better BF, or one of them have already signed to make the fight. So they're just waiting on the other person to sign to have the fight, and the fight will be happening. Actually, isn't Top Rank trying to get a deal also with Amazon? I don't know. I think they have a deal. From my understanding, I believe, and I could be completely wrong about this, is they have a deal with Amazon, just not in the US, is what I think Top Rank has, from my understanding. They hate the PBC because they are better. It's a blow to WS. Who is WS? STBS. What's all these acronyms? They said the same thing with Canelo and Fury. Well, all right, y'all. I said I was gonna be on here an hour. I've been on here an hour and a half. Appreciate everybody for coming by. Make sure y'all punch that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Somebody say, man, that nigga better be on that juice. It's hard to trace testosterone. Um, Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. I will be going live every Sunday. I don't want to say at this time yet until I get my schedule more down packed. Read y'all last comment. Say I am good with the PBC. Definitely number one in sports. And Top Rank is moving prospects well. That's all. The Zone has 3 promotional companies, and none of them fight each other. Well, all right, listen. I'm Jay, and this is R2 Cents. I'll definitely would check my email. Well, we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as you go throughout the video.